by thinking about, suggesting that maybe we change our thinking about the relationship of the university with the state a little bit. And to paraphrase, John Kennedy, maybe we can ask not what the state can do for us, but maybe what we can do for the state and the community in which we work in. Right now we're seeing, as Bob was just mentioning, reduced funding from the state over a generation, not only in Illinois but across the country, a greater shift in tuition, which is a fundamental policy decision about who should be paying for higher education. And you have to ask yourself, why is this? Well, on the one hand, it's easy, shifted to the students. Fee-based revenue generation is something that we see it more and more in all varieties of public policy in the states. But also, I think it's important to realize that one of the reasons that this is so easy for policymakers to do is because they see universities more and more as producing private goods for the students. And just like somebody goes to a park, why not charge them because they're the ones that get in there and look at the trees? They say, well, these kids are going to college, they're generating a higher income capacity, why not have them pay for it? And it makes a certain logic. But from my way of thinking, this is dangerous thinking for policymakers. And it's not only dangerous for the university, it's also dangerous for society. Because universities, as we know, provide much more than just the discrete employment opportunities or even enlightenment opportunities for individual students. The academic incentive structure also kind of mitigates against us being able to sell ourselves to the university or to the state as well. We burrow into our narrow niches, doing often esoteric and basic research, and sometimes, often unintelligible to policymakers, and sometimes you can't even explain it to your colleague down the hall, right? But this is how it should be. This is what universities are all about, at least in large part. They provide this safe place to do the important work of science and humanities, and there are broad externalities to society as a whole that come from that. I think we can look at the rise of the university in the United States paralleling the rise in economic development and cultural development and all sorts of good things that have happened over the last 200 years in this country. But because it's often easy for laypersons, and I count policymakers for the most part in this category, to dismiss our research as irrelevant or sometimes even absurd, as you see in the press from time to time. It's easy for them to downplay the benefits of that and only focus on the benefits of the individual students. From my perspective, I think it's clear that a significant part of the mission of public universities, and especially land-grant universities like the University of Illinois, is to improve the common weal. We teach, we do academic research, and we, maybe on a smaller level, we do public service. And I'm not just talking about serving on the tenure and promotion committee or the committee to get donuts on Thursday. I'm talking about significant public service that enhances the life and the economy of the community and the state in which we are working. So we are obligated as a university, as an institution, to provide some service within our disciplines to improve the lives of the citizens of the state. Not every professor, not all the time, needs to be doing these sorts of things. But as a university, we need to expend a significant resource to translate our basic knowledge, the basic research, not only that we do, but also our disciplinary research, into ways that can be of service to the people in the states and the state and communities that we live in. And so this is a professional obligation that we have by dint of working in a public university. But I think this is also an important key point, and fits in with the topic of this panel, is that not only do we have this professional obligation, but it's really smart politics to do what I'm talking about. Because the more we are seen as a valuable asset to the state and community, when citizens and policymakers see that we help them, that it's good for them to have a fine university in their midst, it's far harder for them to cut our budgets, and it's also far harder for them to shift all the costs onto